Hello everyone, welcome to Code and Learn. In this video, it should come as no surprise to you that we are going to talk about bubble sort. So let's get started. Bubble sort is a simple comparison-based sorting algorithm. It is the simplest algorithm to sort an array out there. It can also be considered a brute force algorithm. So in bubble sort, you will repeatedly step through the list, comparing adjacent elements and performing swaps if they are in the wrong order. This process is repeated until the list is sorted. We call this bubble sort because when you iterate through the array, sorting the elements, you are basically bubbling up the smallest or the larger elements to their correct position. Let's look at it with the help of an illustration. So here, as you can see, we have an unsorted array. The elements in the array are 5, 1, 4 to 8. So to sort them using bubble sort, we start from the first element, that is 5. So we will compare 5 with 1, and we are going to sort this array in an ascending order. Since 5 is greater than 1, we can perform the swap. So now 5 has moved to one position on the right. Next, we compare 5 by 4. Again, since 5 is greater than 4, we can perform a swap. So 5 is now at position 2. Now we compare it with 2. Since 5 is greater than 2, we can perform a swap again. And now 5 is at index 3 in the array. We compare 5 with 8 again, but this time, since 8 is greater than 5, we don't need to perform any swap. We can move on to the next iteration. In the next iteration, we start from the first element again. We compare 1 with 4. Since 1 is lesser than 4, we don't need to perform any swaps. Next, we compare 4 with 2. Since 4 is greater than 2, we perform a swap. Now again, we compare 4 with 5. Since 5 is greater than 4, we don't perform any swaps. Then we compare 5 with 8. Since 5 is not greater than 8, they keep the positions. Now we proceed on to the third iteration. We compare 1 with 2. Since 2 is greater than 1, no swaps. Then we compare 2 with 4. Again, 4 is greater than 2, no swaps. We compare 4 with 5. Again, 5 greater than 4, so we don't need to perform any swaps. Then we move on to 5. 5 is greater than 8. Again, we don't need to perform any swaps. So in bubble sort, if there are no swaps performed in an iteration, it means the array is sorted and we can exit early. So in this case, we bubble the greater elements to their correct position in each iteration. And in the end, we have a sorted array. Here we have the code for bubble sort. We start an outer loop that will iterate through each element in the array. Then we have an inner loop that is used to perform the swaps. Please note that the condition here is less than, so we are sorting this array in a descending order. If element at I is less than j, we perform the swap. Here we are not exiting early when there are no swaps performed in an iteration, so this will perform n into n iterations. And in the end, we will get a sorted array. So what would be the time and space complexity of this solution? Since for each element, we need to iterate through the whole array, we can say the time complexity is n into n, where n is the number of elements in the array. We are not using any additional space, so the space complexity is constant, that is O of 1. So the time complexity is O of n square, while the space complexity is O of 1. So this is for the worst case scenario when the array is not sorted at all. That is, if you are sorting it in ascending order, but the array is sorted in a descending order. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please post a comment under the video or reach out to our Discord server. Until next time, happy coding.